I am here with the coach of Polytechnic High School. He's a father, he's a mentor, and he's so many other things in this community, which is what we need. And without further ado, I just want to introduce him. He is none other than Mr. Charles Hickman.
Man,
Yes, sir.
thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yes,
I
sir.
appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
You're doing some good things here, man. I appreciate you having me on.
Yes, sir. Indeed.
Yes, sir.
Indeed. How was your day?
It was good. It was good. Woke up about 5:45 this morning. Got my workout in. Yeah. Took my daughter's car to go get it inspected and get the oil change. She's in college.
Yes, sir.
So I had to make sure she was taken care of. Then went back home and did a little researching on some stocks.
Okay. Okay.
So it's been good.
That sounds like a productive day.
Very much so.
Yeah. So as far as your workout, you say you worked out. What does your workout consist of?
So in the morning I get up, I do my stretches and everything. Then I do some. Today was my upper body day,
Okay.
so I did my shoulders and I did a little back.
Okay.
But then after that, I have a workout app that takes you through so many exercises, like 8 or 9 of them.
Okay.
And I was able to work through that, and I hit my exercise bike for 20 minutes. My cycle bike.
Yes, sir. So how long have you been working out?
Now, my physique doesn't look like it. It doesn't show, but I've actually been trying to keep my workout regimen going ever since I finished college.
Okay.
Yeah, and you know, my wife, man, she's like, ain't gonna be no, we gonna take care of ourselves. You know,
Yeah.
I'm the other people in our house, so we're gonna take care of ourselves. And man, when she gets up by 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm like, man, I thought she was so thin. Let me get up. So, I'm to have that accountability partner. Yeah, I've been doing it. It's been, I haven't played college ball in 20 years or more. So, yeah. So I try to keep it consistent. I can't go at that level that I used to, but I try to keep it consistent. Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yes, sir. So you got a solid team at home.
Yes. Oh, definitely. Yeah. My wife is phenomenal. And she's awesome.
How long have you been married?
I have been married 20 years.
Okay.
21, September 3rd coming.
Okay.
With 21. And I met her in college.
Okay. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, what college did you attend?
I went to St. Mary's University in San Antonio.
How did you end up at St. Mary's?
Man, funny story. So, you know, right after high school, I made some decisions that delayed my education and plan, that I had responsibilities that I had to take care of. Okay. So I would go back to college over in Dallas, in Richmond Junior College, and throughout playing at Richland and just throughout the city, when I would come home, I met this cat named Terrell Woody, College T. Woody, and he was at Texas Wesleyan. So I went up there to go play, and I did good. I'm like, well, if I would get back in, I could do it here at home. Yeah. You know, I know people will come out and support when they know I'm playing here at XYZ. It didn't work out. He was mad. He called me. He said, man, Charles, don't you come over here. And this guy's talking about this one player is better than you and just lift him up. But I know what it is. That's why I would make a phone call. He called the assistant coach at St. Mary's, Coach Zelsnack. And Coach Zelsnack called me. Hey, do you know what Terrell Wood is? He called me saying something about you looking for somewhere to go play, and man, we'd love to fly you out here. I didn't know he was flying Terrell out there as well. Okay, so we go out there, we have a good showing, and it was one of the times where I was really locked in. I was shooting the ball great, and I think I lost my first game out there. But I won everything else, and the head coach came in and saw me. He was like, wow, shoot it every time you touch it. And I did. And All-American came in. And I don't know what happened, but he came out. He got some of the action too. And when I got to campus, when I signed, he was sitting and I was starting off there. So, so that's how I got there. Terrell, T. Wood, Terrell Wood. He was one that made that phone call that got me there to St. Mary's. Yeah.
Man, that's a heck of a turn of events.
No doubt, no doubt. I probably went a little deeper, but you know, I just had to get the story out.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. No, you good.
Okay.
So you did 4 years?
No, and that's the thing that hurts my feelings. I only did 2 because I went to Frank Phillips up in the Panhandle by Borger, Amarillo. Was in Borger, and Borger is by Amarillo. So I went there immediately after playing ball at Dunbar. Okay. Then got sick, came home. I sat out for like 5 years. Not sick for 5 years, but I just didn't go back because of my responsibilities.
Right.
And so yeah. So from there, that's how it all got started. So I went from Frank Phillips to Richmond to St. Mary's. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So you were on the journey.
Oh yeah. And I knew that when I had my daughters, but you know my older daughters, I knew that I had to get it because they deserved a little bit better than what I had growing up. Not saying that mine was bad. My parents did the absolute best that they could, and you couldn't tell me that we didn't have. If that makes sense.
Yes, sir.
You couldn't tell me that because they needed to do for us. But I just knew I wanted to get my babies.
Yes, sir.
And yeah, so I was on a mission.
Where did you grow up?
Grew up and born in Waco, moved here when I was 6. And I grew up, and I started over here on the south side. And wound up buying a house in East, okay, 4200 block of Comanche. Okay. And that's where I grew up until I graduated.
Mm.
Yeah, I was there until how old was I? Maybe 7 or 8 when I moved to that house at Comanche Street, and I grew up right there.
By the real thing.
Yeah, a couple of blocks down.
Yeah.
The real thing.
Yeah.
S&S Auto, all those.
Yes, sir. I never knew that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Eastwood.
So what middle school did you attend?
I went to Forest Oak. You know, Glencrest, Forest Oak, and we won the city championship in football, basketball at my 8th grade year. Okay. I remember the game was. It was so much talk about the basketball game that they had to move a junior high game to Lewis. Yeah, with some rides, and the stands were packed on one side, of course, not the whole arena, but that one side. It was, yeah, and it was good. But that's where I went.
So you played in front of a big crowd before you got to high school.
Yep.
Do you remember who you played against in the city championship?
Let's see if I remember. Boozer, Winston Boozer, Dwight Williams, okay, Darren Tillis, a cat named Anthony Allison. He was on that team, and I don't remember everybody else, but I remember those 4, and that rings a bell because we all went to. Yes, sir. Yeah, y'all. I think Anthony went somewhere else, but Tillis, Boozer, and Dwight, they were part of the professional team that I played on that time.
Yes, sir. So y'all beat Dunbar,
yeah,
for the 8th grade city championship.
Yeah, and it was pretty good too. And I used to tease them all the time, like, yeah, man, yeah, we had it. It's pretty good. Yeah,
that's what I was going to ask. Does that still come up from time to time?
Every now and again. And I talked Boozer, Winston Boozer, maybe a few weeks ago, and we were just kind of reminiscing. And he was telling me that he's like, man, after that game we played, John, you know, in the 8th grade, and we were trying to figure out who was all coming to Dunbar, from Forest Oak, to Dunbar High School. And man, and we found out you were coming. He said, man, we was like, whoa. Man, we got a solid freshman squad now. Yeah, and
So-
and we did.
So who was on? Were there any notable players on that Forest Oak squad
Yeah,
other than you?
it was Clarence Campbell, rest in peace. Richard Walton, we called him Indiana. Okay, and Dominic Bird. Okay, Dominic Bird. Who else was?
Deion Bryson.
Deion Bryson, he was with us. James Gales.
What about Gales? Did he go to Tech?
He went to Tech. Okay, yeah, he went to Tech to play with his dad.
Yeah.
He's still on his dad.
That Gales name is synonymous with True Tech.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
What made you want to go and decide to go to Dunbar?
Well, it wasn't my decision. Okay, with all honesty, when we did what we did at Forest Oak with that group of kids that we had, I'm like, man, we on the ODY and we about to do some things. My dad and Spanky, pretty close. Okay. And I didn't realize it at the time. I just thought they kind of knew each other from around the way. Whenever Spanky was our 8th grade coach, 7th and 8th grade coach at Forest Oak. Okay. And they would talk all the time. And I'm just like, okay, well, they just kind of know each other. Them and dad, mom told them. Oh, yeah, we went to school together.
I am Turtle.
And next thing you know, mom is telling me, hey, I'm in the backyard. Boy, they're playing ball. Hey, y'all, you need to tell your friends it's time to go home. You need to get in there and get a shower. Okay, what's going on, mom? Now we got a meeting we're going to. Get in the car. What meeting? You'll say. We head over to Dunbar, spot 6. And I'm like, what we doing over here? Hey, well, we think this will be a good space for you, So they got me enrolled in the management program. Okay. So, and because at that time, where we lived, Dunbar was not zoned.
Right.
We were not zoned to Dunbar. We were zoned to ODY.
Yes, sir.
So they got me in the management program. But now, and I started thinking about it as I got older, even after playing days, it all came together. Spanky, my dad, felt like I was a fit. Coach Hughes loved it. And Coach Hughes was at some of our games. So I know Coach Hughes had something to do with that as well. All the connections with our turf. So that's how I got over there. And yeah.
Damn.
I know, right? Because I thought I was going to get down the rail.
Yeah.
And I
think everybody else did too.
Yeah.
I mean, thought you was gonna be. Well, everybody. I guess most players who go to Dunbar, they decide, when they're 9 and 10 years old,
Right.
that they going to Dunbar.
They going to Dunbar.
But that wasn't your decision.
Not at all. But I will go on record and say that mom and dad, thank you. That was the best decision y'all made for me.
Yeah.
Everything from I had to get, it took some getting used to all the things that transpired at Dunbar. Things that I heard, I was nervous, didn't want to go, didn't want to be, whatever. But once I got there and I heard Randy during his interview mention, man, when you are trying to do good in the Stop 6 neighborhood, people will stop short of nothing to protect you and make sure nobody messes with you and make sure you're good. True story. Truth. Yeah. Because I had, God's protective hedge, but God had people around me that made sure nobody messed with him. Yeah. So and I'm thankful for that. So the best decision my mom and dad could have made. Great basketball, great coaching, built great long-lasting relationships. Even my best friend I met a year under me, Gary Collier. Okay. Yeah, man, it's great. Yeah, it's great.
So what is your first historic moment as it relates to Dunbar basketball? Were you aware of Dunbar basketball before you went to Dunbar?
I was not. Spanky. My eighth grade year, Spanky mentioned that Dunbar was going to be Hickman, DeMatha. It had to be DeMatha because my freshman year they played Baltimore Dunbar.
Okay.
So,
87, right?
Yeah. Well, no,
86, 87.
86, 87. Yeah. So that was my sophomore year. So when he said, I think you guys, kind of like the style that Dunbar plays, man. It's kind of up tempo, bit aggressive defensively. He said something like what I'm trying to teach y'all how to do, and maybe one of y'all will go over there, or two of y'all will go over to Dunbar when you guys leave here. And in my mind, I'm like, man, I'm gonna see it. And he's like, make sure you get there early. It was West Side Lions trying to get there early because the tickets are gonna sell out. I'm telling you. And in my mind, I'm like, I'm gonna ask my dad if I can go, but now I know I ain't going to Dunbar. I'm gonna know these lives. Right. And got there a few minutes too late. Parking lot packed, the media, news cameras all over the place. And I sat there and watched the game on the monitor because I couldn't get in the game. I sat there and watched the game on the fan. They had the TV monitor right there. And I guess the guy who was monitoring to me, he told me, hey man, stand right here and watch with me. Yeah. And so I watched the game, and that's when I was like, oh man, that's all right there. But I'm still going to why. But I'm glad my mom took me to that for the magnet program. Oh, I'm glad.
Do you remember any details of that game, Baltimore Dunbar?
I remember Carl Booby James, and that was my freshman year. So I remember Booby James, and I remember Derek. And this dude here, Booby come down and make a pass. Derek doing the middle. Lead Booby right there. Yeah. Hey, and I'm like, that's some basketball. These dudes can hoop. Right. Which made me get in the gym and on my street, right, work on my ball handle and work on my shooting. Because when I saw that, I was like, nah, I'm gonna have to up my game. Because you guys, and they out here playing better than some college teams right now. And so that game right there, it was back and forth, and I think Dunbar won. I think we won maybe about 5 or 6 points that year. I think the guard, I think he fouled out, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken. And we kind of pulled on the way and got that win. But yeah, it was back and forth, and it was just intense. How you just sit there and just like, man, caught up in the moment. Yeah. And so I knew I needed to be a part of that. So I had to get better.
That was the driving mechanism in order for you to get on the Flying Wildcat train.
Yes, and playing in front of all those folks. Yeah, man, dream come true. Yeah,
what did your Forest Oak teammates that went wide, how did they feel about you going to Dunbar?
To be totally honest, we remained friends, but we had no communication. Because the only one that I really talked to every now and again after we split, I talked to James Gibbs all the time because he and I were really, really tight. And then Dion and Bird, I hit them up every now and again. They'll call me every now and again just to check up, see how we're doing. But it wasn't no bad blood. It wasn't and we never talked about, man, if we would stay together. Nothing like that.
That was going to be my next question. When Dunbar played wide, when freshman teams played, was it any kind of animosity on the court?
No, it wasn't. But you could tell that it was a battle for bragging rights, for to walk around with your chest out, right? Because I went to school with y'all. We came to your spot, beat you on your court too. So it was for bragging rights. No fisticuffs, no nothing. It was just hard, just competitive basketball.
Yeah, Dunbar wide basketball.
That's it.
Yeah,
that's it.
That's a enlightening piece of Hickman history.
Yeah,
right there.
Yeah.
Now, how long have you been coaching at Poly?
At Poly, I just finished my 14th year this past year, 14th year, and one of the persons that called me last week just talking about that. They know about the area, they know about Poly and the challenges that we face, and the good that we have as well. Yeah. And he's like, 14 years. He's like, he said, man, keep up the good work. Keep up the good work, because I know sometimes, I said, yeah. I said, but that's everywhere. Everybody has their challenges, but yeah, we're good.
What are some of the highlights of your 14 years?
Well, out of those 14 years, we made the playoffs almost half of the years, but my biggest flex is, and I got that from the kids, flex, is when I was getting ready to take this job. I didn't apply for this job. Okay. I received a phone call when I was in the valley with my wife about an interview. And so everybody was asking me, like, why you in the pilot? I said, why not, Pop? Why not? And it's just, dude, give me a couple of years and we'll be right. Just give me a couple of years, let me get in there and put my stamp on it. Got here, first year, we were in a 3A district with Dallas, Madison, Roosevelt. It was hot. And we didn't have a lot to compete with those first 2 years. But those young guys that were now juniors and seniors, gym rats, like Coach used to say,
Like Coach used to have.
The gym rats. Yeah, always want to be in the gym. Yeah. And it's like, hey, Coach, you don't get up here early. Coach, can we stay a little bit after practice Saturday? Coach, can we? Like, man, dude, I'm going home to go spend time with my daughter. Coach, man, okay, come on, man, you got 30 minutes. Okay, I need 45 minutes. What the game, da. And by the time my third year, and I got to give kudos to my man, Coach Hobbs, and thank Hobbs, because I always tell him, man, we made some good music together before you moved over to the girls' side. Because he helped me develop these kids, helped me, he was just being there. That's a good support system. And that's why he's good at what he does right now for the girls he's coaching. But by the time my third year, we were in a district of Boswell, Big Saginaw, maybe, Chisholm Trail. And it was pretty tough. They picked us to finish second. And we were, man, those young guys, Ivan Ellis, Marcus Williams, and those guys, and they bought in, Yale, all those guys, and they bought in, and we started kicking butt and taking names. We were very competitive. And then the pipeline, we were getting some of the kids coached down in the Butler Project. Okay. So that pipeline kind of made the program kind of take a nosedive. And a couple of people, trusted me. They were a couple of kids that were pretty good, and we were able to kind of get back to the playoff scene. And most recently this past season, I had a bunch of kids that were up to and just got hard competitors. Make the playoffs.
You say the pipeline closed down. Where did the kids from Butler Housing go to middle school?
Oh, man, some of them went to William James. Some of them went to, I want to say, Money Middle School. And those are the two that just come to mind right now. Yeah. And then I did lose a couple of them because when they shut it down, it was kids that was on the varsity team that were impacted. Their parents got vouchers. And they moved them to the Saginaw area. Okay. And then one of them played at Chisholm Trail, the team that was in that district. Mm-hmm. But it was good because the voucher moved them there. And then, boy, I heard our program, but
It gave them a better life.
It gave them a better life. So you can't be upset. You know, disappointed, but you can't be upset because every parent wants better for their kid.
When you see schools in Dallas, Duncanville, Soto, they always seem to have players that live outside of the district. What do you make of that?
First question I have is how is it done without raising any red flags? But then, when you research more, there are open enrollment campuses. So kids can come and go as they please. That's simple. And they are connected heavily with the shoe companies, no doubt, probably. And I'm just kind of talking out, and I don't know for sure, but I'm just guessing. So if you get, like I think one year Duncanville had Hardaway kid, if I'm not mistaken. You know, he's with Nike. They brought him in. So Hardaway kid is playing with Duncanville. You know, so that's just all about the connections with everybody. Those schools are connected heavily in the AU subject, no doubt. And I want to say maybe the SOTO, and this is not a badge, but it's a good thing because you're connected, and that's your pipeline, and your campus is open. And plus all the kids from Fort Worth that are pretty good are moving out anyway. Yeah. So why not take advantage of it?
You mentioned Nike and Hardaway, the Hardaway kid, which opens me up to another question. The name, image, and likeness. Our governor signed a deal that would allow 17-year-old children to receive name, image, and likeness deals. Where are you on that?
I think that's going to mess up high school basketball. And that reason being is if it's me coaching, I have a solid team and I'm thinking we can at least get to the regional final. And then with the ball going up in the air and we're tied with 10 seconds to go, it can go either way so we can get to the state final four. But then you have a guy that knows somebody that has money that can put your two best players to go to this school now. That leaves me high and dry because he's about to go get paid and the hard work, blue collar work we just put in. It's not for nothing, but it's tarnished because of the, So that's just my little short take on it. Right. Right. So, what do you think about it?
I think it gives too much power to somebody that's not ready for power. I don't think that a 16, 17-year-old kid can handle that much power.
Right. Totally agree. Totally agree.
Some of the parents can't either.
Right.
Alito High School. Can we talk about that?
Yeah, let's talk about Alito.
Over the years, Alito has gotten a lot of our kids from the inner city to play football. One name that comes to mind is Jonathan Gray.
Household name. Yep.
And there's been several others over the years. What is it that Alito has to offer a kid that Fort Worth ISD doesn't?
That's a great question. I'll take my time and make sure I answer this the right way. But I think that one thing that's appealing to kids and the parents, we're visual. We get excited about it. visual. I see that stadium, it has lane around the seats on the front row. Then I come to this stadium, there's a bucket sitting there. And
Might be some water in the bucket.
and there you go. Where do you think I want to sit?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think that their facilities, that rich tradition they have out there, I think that lures parents and kids out there. It's for them to go compete with them.
So,
And I've heard other things, but I won't go into that.
yes, sir.
Yeah. So, but I think that's a big part of it.
So Fort Worth ISD, athletics is fighting an uphill battle,
Right.
for the most part.
Yeah, in my opinion, yes. Those facilities, even like Old and Mansfield, and those facilities that are on your campus, those are some like the basketball arenas. They're nice gyms. Man, they're nice. They hold 2,500, 3,000 people. But man, they are nice. It's a miniature little surroundings, there. And those facilities are bona fide home court advantage facilities once you get into battling for playoffs. No. So I think that's what's making it tough for guys. Some of the facilities now, it bad, but we can stand some of the grades. And I know one person, I won't mention his name, also got a great friend of mine. He's taken up for me in rooms that I wasn't in, that a particular person was trying to challenge my integrity, my personality, all these things. And he stood up. He stood up for me. He's in the know about a lot of things around here, but he's only able to do so much. Okay, but I know if he had his way, everything, all the upgrades, everything, it would happen. Yeah.
Let's switch gears back to flying Wildcat basketball.
Okay.
I asked Big C this question. I asked Randy this question. And I'm going to ask you the same question. Give me your all-time starting 5 Dunbar basketball players.
Why you do that to me?
I'm putting you on the spot.
Because I know he would be on everybody's, the majority of the people's starting 5, all-time 5. Gary Carter. Okay. Big C.
It'd be the 3 or the 4.
3. Hey, let him tell it. And this is my guy. We like brothers.
Right.
He say he ran into the GM from the Cleveland Cavaliers years later after he didn't make the squad, right? And they was like, hey, Carl, you man, sorry it didn't work out for you. He said, yeah, it could have worked out. You should have just left me at the 4. So he could play the 3 or the 4.
Yeah.
He had this game as he could play the 3 or the 4. And so I would go with him for sure. And I'm a shooter. I gotta have a shooter because that's what I did when I played. And I think one of the best shooters that went through Dunbar during the time that I know, Spider. Okay, Spider Smith.
That's the 2.
That's the 2. Yeah. Or and then when I throw these other names out here, we just gonna put them out there because all of them play. And Derek Daniels, of course.
That's your
Yeah,
point.
that's my point. And so how many is that?
That's 3.
3.
Got need a 5.
Need a 5 and a 2.
And a 2. No, 2.
I mean,
Spider.
okay, well, this is where I'm going with that. Okay. And all of them could coexist. I think I put that right out there. Okay. I learned about him, and I actually saw him. And yeah, he'd be out there. So that's 4. And then the 5 would be maybe Jeremy Smith, because I coached him and watched him and how dominant he became over the years, or it'd be, man, it would be Mark Chambers. Big slow.
Big slow.
Yeah. Yeah. The slow, he don't break his foot. Randy at Derek's junior year, slow senior year, he don't break his foot. I think he did cash runs everything that they were asking for. Okay. Because he was that dominant. Okay. At 6'4", 6'5".
Yeah.
Man, left hand that can score. He gonna hit you mid range. He gonna give you a head fake with your body and go finish at the basket. So yeah, slow it up. Yeah.
It's kind of hard to pick a starting five.
It is. Yeah. There's a lot of good teams. There's a lot of good teams that a lot of good players that have gone through there. And you know, I was a late bloomer, but one of the biggest compliments I got from when I played, I was watching Mike Myers movie. I was there at the preview, and he asked that question. All time good players from there. Everybody gave their spiel. And then there was somebody that came on and said, y'all can't forget about Charles Hickman. And man, my eyes like, man, and I was a late bloomer. Right. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Because I didn't get better until I went to college. Okay. You know? And so, but I was humbled by my name being mentioned. Yeah.
I remember your shot.
Yeah.
From the wing.
Yeah.
And it was a pretty shot.
No, thank you, man.
You still got it?
I still got it. I can't move as fast because I had a knee replacement.
Okay.
But yeah, man, once I get warm and flick it, they say shoot jump shots is just like riding a bike. You never forget how to do it.
So you go to the fair, you winning all the stuff down.
I don't say all that, but I'll win a few of them.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll win a few of them.
Let's talk about discipline.
Okay.
Now, when we were in school, Coach Hughes, I think the name of his pedal was Bessie. Bertha. Yeah. Do you have a name for your paddle? Do you have a paddle?
I don't have a paddle. Man, they'll run us out of the system and everything. It's not like it used to be. Yeah, Coach had Bertha, and then later he named it the Golden Twinkie. And but we can't have that now. Yeah, we can't do that. That corporal punishment, yeah, it's not there anymore. And I think back to when it was given to us. Now things wasn't perfect, but a lot of things that I see now wasn't happening back then because of that that one element. Mom and dad at home, or coach, don't get me. So I'm gonna stay out the way. I'm good. I'm not gonna get in trouble. Yeah. But no, I don't. And I was scared of Bertha and the Golden Twinkie when Coach was swinging. But yeah.
So how do you get your point across?
You know what?
Or how do you discipline?
Okay. So my thing is times change. You can't be stuck in how it was done to you or done for you or whatever. You have to kind of change with the times without losing your core values. Okay. And so with that being said, if it takes me raising my voice, I may raise my voice. And I remember one time I'm laughing in my head. And I remember getting a chair, hitting it on the bleachers to make them think I was going out of my mind. Yeah. And they looked at me, Coach, you all right? And then we all started laughing. I said, yeah, I'm all right. I'm just trying to get your attention. Yeah. And of course, running, if need be. But most times, with all honesty, I have been exceptionally blessed that I have been able to connect with these kids. And if I ask them to do something, they're gonna do it. And I'm not just just saying this because I'm in front of the camera. But I have been exceptionally blessed. Now, do I still have challenges with that one or two every now and again? But if I walk down the hallway at my school right now, and kids that are not even basketball players are in the hallway after the principals, assistant principals, or teachers have asked them to leave the monitors, and I walk down the hallway, hey, they asked you to do, Coach, my bad, we gone. Sprint on and go to class. And so I have been exceptionally blessed. I don't have a lot of disciplinary issues. Okay. Now again, one or two, maybe. But then if it's on the court, we may do some sprints here and there, but it doesn't take long, to get that point across, So, but believe me, sometimes I think, now I wonder what it would be like if the Board of Education was still here on the campus. Yeah. I wonder, but, I've survived as long as I have, so it's okay.
Yeah. Now, you played for Coach Hughes from 88 to 19, was it 86?
85, 86 to 89. Okay, so 85 to 89.
What was your one takeaway that you learned from Coach Hughes that sticks with you to this day?
One thing I learned from Coach Hughes, of course it's several, but one thing.
Give me more than one.
Okay. So a couple of things that I learned and that just really stuck with me is don't let nobody outwork you. If you don't get better, you need to try to be better every day. Get a little bit better every day, and don't let anybody outwork you. And then just the preparation going in the battle. If it's get ready to play a game and I'm playing, think about the shots that I'm shooting. Think about if a guy my size, my height, gets on me and he may be a little quicker. Think about me putting him on the block and scoring because I play 1, 2, 3 effort. So just those things. That's what really stands out to me. Don't let nobody out there. Just prepare so you don't have to worry about getting prepared, if that makes sense.
Yes, sir. Stay ready.
That's
ready.
it.
Yeah. Is Poly a good school to send your child?
I'll be honest with you. And on our recruiting trail, when we go to the feeder schools, whenever I stand up and I speak about the basketball program, for a while I was the athletic coordinator, so I was speaking for the entire athletics program here. I'd always ask the question, and I tell them, hey, it's not rhetorical. Answer this question for me serious. What have you heard about Poly that makes you not want to go? And some may say, well, it's too many fights. Some may say, well, the academics isn't good. So, that's, and I always tell them, don't believe everything you hear. Come over and see for yourself. And some of those same kids that were against coming, the parents sent them. Some of them graduated at the top of the class. Some of them graduated top 10%, 15%, and have gone off to college. Some of those same kids that didn't want to come. Yeah. So it's Poly is a good place. It's a good place. You get here, you kind of find your niche, and you walk it every day. Yeah. And of course, every school, even out in the suburbs, you're going to have actors and characters that's going to do certain things that's not appealing to the campus. Yeah. Period. That's everywhere. Not just here in Fort Worth, not just over in Dallas.
South Lake, too.
Yeah, South Lake, everywhere. Everywhere. I had a buddy that's out in Kelly. He told me, he's like, Coach, different kids but the same type of problems. So that's just how it is. That's the way it works. So yeah, if y'all want to send your kids over here to Poly, send your kids over here. I need a shooting guard and I need another post.
Okay. Ain't nothing wrong with a plug.
That's right.
Yeah.
McDonald's All-American coach with Coach Hughes. All-American in college. I never talk about that, but hey, send them on. Great basketball pedigree right there. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm trying to recruit, baby.
So how many kids do you have on your squad?
Right now?
Yeah.
We have a total in the program. We have a total of about 30 kids. And from the playoff team this past year, we have 4 returning from the playoff team. So
I was talking to Randy, and he said when he was going to the 9th grade, it was 47 kids that was trying out for 12 jerseys.
yeah,
He said that if you didn't make it, you didn't make it.
yeah. And when I got to Dunbar as a freshman, it was that many of them.
Yeah.
And I'm just thankful that I was one of the 12.
Yeah.
Because it was a lot of them. Man, it was a lot of them.
Now, when you played in Dunbar, at Dunbar in the summertime, did Coach Hughes turn the heat on?
Man, he turned the heat on and closed the doors. And everybody that drank a little too much Kool-Aid the night before, or ate too many pieces of cake or apple pie, he was able to get in that gym and run it off the next day. Yeah, man, it was hot. It was so hot in that gym. But you can't. When it was like that, and one day, we were playing, and I just stopped and started laughing at him. He came out of the locker room, and the gym doors were closed, and we were sliding on the floor from so much sweat and stuff. And he was like, man, it's hot in here. Yeah. And he went in and put a clothes hanger on the back door, lead to the back parking lot. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah. And he propped the doors open so some of the air from outside could come in and start circulating, to kind of cool the gym off. And it was bad because outside was cooler and it was in the summer. Right. It was 100 degrees outside. Yeah. But it was hotter inside than outside. Yeah. So, but you couldn't get mad at him because, one, that was part of our secret weapon, if you ask me. Our endurance was good once we started playing. But then you watch him while we're playing, and that's another thing. This guy used to leave us in the summer and go get his walk in. Yeah. And be like, man, where this guy going? He had his shades on. He'd go hit that back door and go hit 820 and walk that whole loop, man. Walk down there to, where is that? Was it Wheelbarger? Yeah, and then come all the way back down to Rainy. Yeah. Oh man, getting it in. Yeah. And I promise you, when I saw him doing that, and he wasn't no old man, but he was older. And I was like, man, this dude is. Yeah. I said, okay, well, I'm gonna keep working hard. It was kind of inspiring, And then when I started working with him, right? I used to see him. I was like, Coach, what you having for lunch today? He's like, well, I think it's a vegetable day today. You go to the cafeteria, go see what vegetables they have. One time he came in with 2 little containers of broccoli and squash. And he sat there and ate and was content. No meat, no nothing. And I was like,
was he a vegetarian?
No, he just had his days where he ate meat, and he had his days where he wanted to do what he did with the vegetables. Now, whether or not he ate when he got home, I don't know. But just certain days at school when I was working with it, I took notice to that, and we talked about it. And he's like, yeah, just, if you don't have your health, then you will. If you ain't got your health, you ain't got nothing. That's what he used to always tell me. So, what you show right. So, and that was motivation and inspiring to me.
The illustrious, the underground.
My guy. That's my guy, man. God, that's my guy. Yeah.
What do you mean to you?
Man, everything. He was I'm gonna go back down memory lane real fast, and then we'll get to that. Okay, so Coach Rambo, as a freshman, he spent a lot of time with us, as a freshman, as we were freshmen, and he took us to tournaments. Coach Hughes coached us too, but when Coach Hughes had tournaments, Coach Rambo took us to tournaments, and we just kind of built a bond that was, I felt like it was like a father-son, uncle-nephew type of relationship, because I was blessed to have my father and mother in the household. But there's nothing wrong with having somebody else out there that look out for you, like your dad. And Coach Rambo was that, and so that was my freshman year. I did really well, our freshman year, and I was good. That how every year there's that person that's like, okay, he stuck out on that team, he's gonna be down on this team. So I think I was the guy our freshman year. And so when it came time for the sophomore year, Coach Hughes told me to go to varsity athletics. Make sure you get your schedule changed for varsity athletics. 6 period. Yeah, I'm varsity. And so I was in the magnet program. And I'm not ashamed, I have 2 degrees. So it wasn't a loss, it was a lesson. Yeah. I failed the class because I got late. And Coach Rambo went and told Coach Hughes, like, Coach, what you gonna do with Hickman? Coach said, you can take it back down to JV. And I was upset, but I was cool after we started playing, because I was like, Coach Rambo is letting me get after it. I'm growing, I'm getting better.
That was 10th grade.
10th grade, yeah, 10th grade, yeah. And so from that point forward, man, we were good. Even up when they hired me to go work with him. And and then even backpedaling. I remember a few times I didn't have a ride home or somebody to come get me and take me to practice, because I lived in East. Man, Coach Rambo, he took care of me. He did that for me, man. And and I am grateful for him. And even when I started working with him, I mean, he took me under his wing, and him and Coach Hughes always tell me, hey, Coach, do as I say, don't do as I do. Because if you do as I do, you're going to get fired. You can't do what I do. And Coach Rambo was like, yeah, you can't do what we do. Yeah, we got skins on the wall. We got skins in the game. Yeah. So yeah, Coach Rambo, he took me in, man, and made sure I did everything the right way.
Coach Rambo.
Yeah, that's my guy right there. Rest in peace. Yeah, that's my guy.
You and Gary Collier, we call him Big C.
Big C.
Y'all are good friends.
Very, very, very good friends.
Tell me about the time when y'all missed the bus.
Okay. So I think we were going to Irving MacArthur or Irving High School, one of the two. And so Coach told us to be there at 10, 10:30, 11, whatever time that was. I don't really remember the time, but all I know is me and Gary, and I think, it was me and Gary. We walked up at the same time, going in. I'm like, what's going on? The door locked, man. Oh, man. And he's one of those, like, oh, man, he's like a perfectionist. And when we found out, they left us. But he left like 15, 20 minutes early. And I was like, man. Then my friend, my classmate, Deidre Fulcher, she just happened to be riding by. What y'all doing? I think y'all got a game today. Why you not? So we like, man, they left us. He told us to be here at this time, but man, we got here 20 minutes early, and they gone already. Oh man, she's like, well, I was going to the game anyway. Y'all need to take y'all over there. It's like, yeah, let's go. So me and Gary, we got in there, and so we pulled up at the arena. We let the people know, hey, we play basketball for dump party. They let us in for free. So Big C said, man, I'm gonna go down here and talk to him and ask him why he leave us, man. Because man, that ain't right. And I said, well, you go on down there and talk to him. I said, I'm gonna sit right here and cheer these cats on. I said, because he ain't finna go off on me. Next thing you know, he don't come back out. I'm like, what's going on? He come out of the locker room with a jersey. Two little jersey, two little shorts. Yeah. Coach made one of the players give up their uniform and give it to Big C, man. I said I should have gone down there because I know had I gone to, because he know he left us, right? He left us, and he left early, and I know I would have gotten another, and I'm not mentioning no names. I know Gary probably told you who it was, but I know that he would have given me somebody's jersey and shorts too to play in that game. But I was nervous because what an interaction I had with him as a freshman. You know how you start doing really well and you start feeling yourself, and you feel like nobody can really get after you. And in hindsight, now what he was doing was just challenging me to do more, even though he knew what I had done. We were playing, I think, Roosevelt at Billington Fieldhouse, and we were up 23-24, and I had 26 in the third quarter. Okay, and they called a timeout, and he was going off on everybody. But now that I'm a coach, I understand what he was doing. We were up 20. Don't let up. Keep the pressure on, but you got to do this, you got to do this. And man, I looked at him like this. Oh, thank you, Chuck. You benched me. We almost lost the game, and every time they scored, I would see a name that my mom and dad didn't name, and he was going off on me. And all I could do was, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. And I think we won by 2, maybe 4 points. But from that interaction, I think it kind of messed up me and his relationship a little bit. But I still was on the team, I still started, but he just coached me so hard from that point. And I just thought he didn't like me. But I was playing, so he did not like me. You thought you were tough, so I'm gonna stay on you. Right. And I could appreciate that, So that's why I was afraid to go talk to him, about, hey, coach, we were on time. Y'all left early. But now, hindsight, if I would have, I know I would have gotten jersey. Yeah.
So somebody had to get a jersey.
Yeah, somebody had to get that jersey up, man. Yeah. I think Big C dropped probably 20 that game too.
Okay.
Yeah, he played inspired basketball.
Yeah. Like he always did.
Like he always did. Yeah.
That I imagine that was kind of hard on the person who had to get a jersey.
It was. And the running joke is after the game, coach used to take some pennies, like to go eat. And so I got back in the car with Deidre, and she brought me back and dropped me off in the school at the house. And they told me that when they were getting off the bus to go eat, there was somebody else on there that was in trouble or something. And he yelled out, and Hickman, and I forgot who else. If y'all on this bus, stay on there, don't get off. And I said, I'm glad I went home, man. I'm glad I went home. And then I honestly, I wonder, and I never asked him, but I wonder, was he disappointed? Because in his program, you're accountable, discipline, respect, all those things, and what he was building within us, self-esteem, confidence. Why didn't you come down there and tell me that I left you? Why didn't you come do that so I could give you your jersey? Because he ain't gonna come bring it to me. Right. You know what I'm saying? So, and I just kind of put all that together, years later. So,
and back then, it was a lot different.
Oh, very different. Yeah.
For us.
Yeah, very different.
I never heard them say I love you, but I knew they did.
I knew they did, exactly. Yeah. And I remember And this is, I said, I was thinking that he didn't like me, but I was all right with it because even when I had my hernia repaired, I came back after the rehab had started. Like the date I was released, I was back in the starting lineup. So it was just, even with when I started working with him, he gave me my first coaching job. Back at the alma mater. So yeah, but they, they were so different, and that's how I knew that it was love there. And like you said, they never said it. They never said it. Now I'll tell my players in a minute, I love you. Hey, if you need me, make sure you let me know. I love you, my guy. You be good, X, Y, Z. I'm not afraid. My dad told me, hey, you can't be. And that's the thing that I understand, but I don't understand as a man. You should be able to tell another man in a manly way or in a loving way, hey man, I love you, dog. And I wish you the best. And I mean that from the heart. And people look at that like
a sign of
weakness or something. Yeah. And that's not the way it is. Yeah.
Man. Well, that just about concludes our interview, man. Yeah. Is it anything else that you would like to share?
If not really, but I'm gonna share something. But I'm gonna say this: I have a lot more stories, experiences. So if it needs to be a part two, I'll be more than willing to sit down with it. Especially about Dunbar. One time I was there as a player and as a coach. It was a great ride, especially when I was a coach. Oh, it was so many great stories. But I just want to take time out so they'll know that this is sincere and genuine. Keep doing what you're doing. Yes, sir. And like I talked to you maybe a couple of weeks ago, told you I saw your video when you went down to City Hall. All of the people in Blue want bad, and you let them know that. And hey, man, what you're doing right now, getting insights from a lot of community members. People need to hear that. Yes, sir. So keep doing what you're doing, and I'm proud of you.
Yes, sir. I appreciate that. Yes, sir. Yeah. I receive.
Yes, sir.
I receive. Man, this is Coach Charles Hickman. I'm the positive Postman. We out.
Yeah.
Peace.